telling our story as a district. And so what we're looking at is having a team approach instead of a person approach, in the fact that we'll have a communication team just like we would have multiple coaches. So we looked at having a communication director, and that person would be the organizer and the person who, we talked about what type of hardware needs are we going to need and who's going to assign tasks when they came up. That would be the communication director. And then the 4 coaches would be one of each school, so elementary school, middle school, and high school. But also we thought the 6-12 co-curricular is so busy that they almost need their own coach. So that's for all music, all art, all athletics. So that would be that person's focus. And Tina and I were talking about, and Tina is currently on our communication team, about when we post this, we want to kind of have a write-up of a skeletal outline of what they'll be doing or the tasks that they'll be doing, so we can open that up for our staff that enjoy communication, working with communication, or maybe some staff who like coming to events and taking pictures to apply. Not that I'm throwing that out to anybody who's in the room or anything. So we thought if we came up with a team approach, that would work. So we looked at the financial structure of Rob, which was about $34,000, and so we thought, okay, how much is the director and are the coaches going to be working per week? We took that number of 10 hours a week on average, times the 36 weeks of the school, 360 hours. I looked at the co-curricular pay, and Mr. Holzmer has a document that says, on average, this is what the JV football coach, how many hours we think that they work. I do believe that a lot of our coaches and these coaches will probably go over that amount, but it's a good starting point. And we just used the salary or the stipend that was closest to that in our extra duty pay. So that's how we came up with the structure. The pricing then, basically, when you go from one person at $34,000 at 890 hours total for the year, we actually were able to go from $34,000 to this structure is about $17,000, and that $17,000 is split up among those 5 people within our district, so it's putting some money in our staff members' pockets. But actually the number of hours is doubled. So it's always a good combination when you can pay half as much for twice as more. So that's kind of what we're looking for, and we think that we have some people that we think will probably enjoy this role because they like taking pictures, they like using social media, and they just like telling the good stories of what goes on at school. So we'd like to probably send that out as early as Friday if we can get the duties and responsibilities done, ready for staff.
So all of these positions would be posted with a job description?
Yep.
Okay. Questions, board? Silence again. Would somebody move?
I'll move to approve the addition of a communications director and 4 communications coaches to the extra duty pay section of the district handbook.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
I'm gonna give it to Don. Andrews.
Yes.
Bowden.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Hinderman, yes. Pohl.
Yes.
Schrader.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Committee reports, budget and finance. You met on May 8th. Is there anything else?
I don't think there's too much to report on. Chuck?
No, I don't think so, at this point.
Yeah, at that
Okay.
meeting, Heather gave the preliminary budget report to the committee, and Heather did a wonderful job of looking at that and coming up with different options, because we don't know, and we're being advised by WASB to have multiple versions of the budget, and we have a version of the budget. We might get $50 less per child. We might get $0 more per child. We might get 179, which was in the budget, or we might get half of that. And so we have kind of that laid out and what that would look like for our district. And we don't know. There may be a budget revision. It would have to be done by October 15th, and whether legislators want to tackle that months before election, that's up for debate on whether they want to or not, but we are prepared, in case, and Heather did a wonderful job preparing that, so thank you, Heather.
So basically, at this point, you could start the school year with a bigger question financially than you've had, the past 3 years.
Yes, and as all of you know, it's really dependent on, the state's not collecting revenue right now. They're spending a lot more on different things, and they're not collecting a lot because of the high rate of unemployment. So, it is going to impact us financially, for sure. Whether it's this year or in future years, we will be impacted.
Building and grounds, Chuck or Aaron, anything you
Yeah,
met on May 6th?
I would say, Aaron, I think the custodial staff, maintenance staff doing an excellent job with everything that's getting done, cutting our big costs. I think we should give them a thank you for that, don't you?
Yep, yeah, our crew here, I could say it's our summer crew, but it's not really summer yet, but, they are going around and replacing almost 100% of the lights in the buildings to LEDs. I think most of the lights outside of the gym, which that will have to be a next summer project, and, they had lights down in the dungeon, we call that the lower locker rooms, where Mr. Holzmer's office is. They will probably be finished in September, but, Ben believes by June 2nd, he'll have all the lights swapped out, and that's gonna be a big savings. When people switch to LED, it usually pays for the cost of the project within 2 years.
Well, Focus on Energy gives a pretty good kickback for
Yep.
it, I do believe. I think
That
it'll
as
be less than $1 or $2 for our costs.
Per bulb, yep.
Okay,
Yep.
alrighty, thank you. Curriculum instruction assessment, your meeting June 5th, is there anything else?
Nope, that'll be our next one, and we'll hear from Mrs. Ballback on the things that they did and the direction that we're going next year.
Okay. Personnel, we met on May 13th, and at this time, I'm not aware of any, next meeting. Policy, met April 29th, any need to schedule anything, Aaron, at this time?
We believe the federal Title IX, revisions came out this week, last week, within the last 7 days, and we'll probably get a Neola update focusing on Title IX, although a lot of what I have not read the entire thing. I've read the highlights of it. The Title IX document is over 200 pages long. From the highlights that we get from our school organization, Neola has done a wonderful job. We already have a lot of the things that districts are scrambling for with Title IX. With equity and compliance officers, we already have in our policies. But Neola did say that they're gonna come out with Title IX, revised policies for us to have probably before September 1.
Okay. Technology, transportation, Dan or Aaron?
We met on May 13th. One of the things, was in the consent agenda that we rehired TC Network, so I think it's been excellent for our district. Went through some of the technology stuff, and then we put up a game plan. Our busing contract will be coming due in a year, so we've got a timetable set up for that.
Thank you, Dan. Foundation met April 30th. Is there anything that you want to say about that?
We just kind of went through the scholarships and how they're divided up, and just things that Mr. Gates wanted to share with Chuck and Dan about scholarships.
Okay, thank you.
We had Ryan sit in with
Yep.
us on that meeting too, which was nice.
Oh, great. And thank you, Aaron, for arranging, hopefully for Mr. Gates, for the 10-day mentorship.
Yep, we're all excited about that.
And has scholarship night come and gone?
Nope. It's on Thursday, May 28th. So
Okay.
we will be doing that virtually on that evening at 6:30.
Okay.
Thank you.
CISA 3 rep, we had our border control meeting last night, and, named, Dana Whiteheller from Belmont to replace Craig Abbing. Jamie gave, his fiscal report and staffing report, and, seems to be well underway with, this, new COVID, trying to plan, and they're all working from home at this point and uncertain as to when they're gonna go back, to the office as well, so. We've come to the end of our agenda. Is there any other comments, questions?
All right, thank you all, appreciate it.
Stay
Thank
on,
you, everybody.
stay on for a picture.
Yes, board members, make sure you guys stay.
Picture.
Once everybody else leaves, we'll take a board picture.